Howdy, folks. This is just a reminder that if you like this content, you can help me out by liking, commenting, and especially by subscribing. And be sure to hit the bell notification so you always get notified whenever I have a new video. Hope you enjoy this.
Go ahead with your question for Jimmy.
Okay. One of my favorite verses in Genesis 2:24 says, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh." Notice two. Why? One of my drivers asked me years ago, would God allow polygamy in the Old Testament, and why people didn't get punished for that kind of thing. Like, for example, David had more than one wife and all of that stuff. I know he got punished with the Bathsheba incident, but why does God not chastise people for doing that, or did he?
Well, so the first thing to say is that the ancient Israelite culture was different than ours, and it was considered an acceptable thing for a man to have more than one wife in their culture. And so they didn't read Genesis the way we read it. Now, I think that if you take off the ancient Near Eastern lenses, that there is a pro-monogamy message in early Genesis, in the creation of man. And I think that there is a pro-monogamy message later in Genesis, because every time a guy has two wives in Genesis, it ends up badly. You know, it causes problems. And people in the ancient world recognized that there were jealousies between wives and things like that. But it was dominantly accepted, and this is the reason why God allowed it. It's because people weren't willing to give it up at the time. Jesus makes it clear in his discussion of adultery and divorce that God allowed the Israelites to divorce their wives and give them a bill of divorce, even though divorce was not God's will. He allowed them to do that because their hearts were hard. And the same thing is going to be true of having multiple wives, where this was seen as a status of rich men and success and pleasure and all kinds of things like that. And so their hearts were hard, and he worked with the people that he had. He didn't demand that they all instantly jump to a higher standard that they hadn't been raised with. And so it took some time for the full Christian understanding of monogamy to develop, and God worked with people until that happened. And before we go, just one more reminder that if you like what you've watched, you can help me out by liking, commenting, and especially by subscribing. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I'd really appreciate your help. Thank you, and God bless you.